All right, welcome to another deep dive. Tonight we're heading to Thailand, to the land of smiles
Yeah.
and nightlife.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Um, I love a good party, and Thailand is famous for its nightlife. But we're going beyond those typical tourist traps. We're going to dig a little deeper. We've got a bunch of articles and blogs right here,
Yeah.
and you, our listener, are interested in unique experiences, like the things that most tourists just don't even know about.
Right.
We're going to talk about Bangkok, of course.
Yeah.
So crazy energy of Bangkok nightlife.
Yeah.
The chill vibes of the beach clubs. Oh, and of course, the full moon party. Got to talk about the full moon party.
All right.
Oh, and you know what? Did you know there's a nightclub inspired by the movie Snowpiercer?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Or a floating beach club. Who knew? So to help us navigate this world of Thai nightlife, we have a true expert.
Well, I'm happy to be here. I'm so excited to kind of dive into all the different ways you can experience nightlife in Thailand.
Yeah.
Because it really does offer something for everyone.
So let's paint a picture for our listeners. What are the different flavors of nightlife? What could they expect to find as they're traveling around the country?
Oh, so many options. Okay, well, let's start with Bangkok. It's the heart of it all. This is a city that never sleeps. It's a city with this pulsating energy, this electric energy that just pulls you in from the moment you arrive. You've got everything from these sleek rooftop bars where you can sip a cocktail and just gaze out at this glittering city view, to these underground clubs where the music just pounds until dawn.
Oh, wow.
And then you've got the islands, right? The beautiful islands like Phuket and Koh Samui. Imagine yourself at a beach club, your feet in the sand, DJs spinning tunes under the stars, fire shows, and just that incredible energy that comes from a party right on the ocean.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah. And then there's Chiang Mai, a little bit more laid back.
Okay.
Think live music in these cozy bars, traditional Thai performances, just a touch of that bohemian charm that Chiang Mai is known for. And of course, we can't forget about the full moon party in Koh Phangan.
You can't go to Thailand without experiencing the full moon party, at least once.
Right. It's legendary.
Legendary.
It's an all-night beach bash that draws people from all corners of the globe. It's incredible.
All right. So that is like a choose-your-own-adventure for nightlife. Okay, let's zoom in on Bangkok for a second.
Okay.
Now, our sources mention Khao San Road, RCA, and Soy Cowboy.
Yeah.
What's the vibe? If our listener finds himself in one of these places,
Yeah.
what are they in for?
Oh, well, each one is so unique. A Khao San Road, that's the classic backpacker haven.
Okay.
Think bustling street food stalls, bars with cheap drinks, a real mix of travelers and locals all creating this energetic atmosphere.
Love that.
It's the place to mingle, soak up the energy, and maybe even try some fried
I
scorpion.
don't know about the fried scorpion.
It's an experience.
It's an experience.
Then there's RCA, which stands for Royal City Avenue. This is more about clubbing. You'll find some of Bangkok's biggest and most popular nightclubs here, everything from EDM to hip-hop, international DJs. It's the place to see and be seen.
Yeah.
And then there's Soy Cowboy. This is a bit different. It's a red light district known for its go-go bars and, well, adult entertainment.
Right.
It's not everyone's cup of tea, but it's a part of Bangkok's nightlife that, is there.
Yeah, it's there. It's there. So we've got the backpacker scene, the club scene, and
Yeah.
Soy Cowboy.
Yeah.
All right. Now I got to ask about that Snowpiercer-themed nightclub.
Oh, yeah.
What is the story there? It's called Echelon, right?
It is. It's definitely one of Bangkok's most unique nightclubs. They've really taken the concept of the film Snowpiercer and created this super immersive experience, like you're stepping onto that luxurious train. You even get a personalized boarding pass when you enter.
Oh, wow.
But it's not just the design. They have this really cool concept called a synchronous bar and nightclub.
A synchronous bar and nightclub.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure what that means.
So basically, they've designed the space so that it seamlessly transitions from this sophisticated bar atmosphere early in the night to a high-energy nightclub as things progress. So you can start your evening with the cocktails, maybe have a conversation in a more relaxed setting. And then as the music ramps up, the lights dim, the whole space transforms into a full-blown club.
Oh, that is so cool. So they've really put a lot of thought into creating this dynamic experience. Okay, you mentioned the full moon party earlier. I think almost everybody has at least heard of it.
Yeah.
But what is it actually like to be there? Or just Ravelblog is painting it as, this epic beach rave?
It basically is. So the full moon party happens every month on Hotarin Beach in Koh Phangan. It's a giant beach party that draws thousands of people from all over the world. Think fire shows, DJs spinning everything from trance to reggae, buckets of booze, body paint, and just a whole lot of dancing under the full moon.
Wow.
It's wild, it's unforgettable, and it's definitely something you have to see to believe.
All right, so we've got the craziness of clubbing in Bangkok, the legendary full moon party. But our sources also mention these like beach clubs, which sound a bit more chill, but still a lot of fun.
Definitely. Beach clubs are super popular, especially on the islands. It's all about that relaxed, tropical vibe, but with a touch of luxury and style. Think lounging on these plush daybeds, sipping cocktails, taking a dip in the pool, enjoying music with the ocean as your backdrop.
That sounds like a dream.
It's the perfect way to unwind and soak up that island atmosphere.
Now, speaking of unique beach clubs,
Oh.
Just Ravel describes Yona Beach Club in Phuket as the world's first floating beach club.
Oh, yeah.
A floating beach club. What does that even mean? Is it literally a club on a boat?
No, no, no. It's not on a boat. It's built on a floating structure, like right off the coast of Phuket.
Yeah.
They've created this luxurious platform with everything you'd expect from a high-end beach club. Infinity pool, a stylish bar, a dance floor, and just incredible views of the Andaman Sea.
That's incredible. So what if our listeners looking for something a bit more low-key? They want to experience live music, but in a more, I don't know, intimate setting. Where would you send them?
Oh, for that, I would absolutely recommend the Bamboo Bar in Bangkok.
Okay.
It's located within the Mandarin Oriental Hotel, and it's been around for decades. It's known for its classic decor, this really warm, inviting ambiance, and their live jazz music is incredible.
Oh, nice.
It's a fantastic option for a more refined and sophisticated night out.
So you've got the craziness, the pulsating energy of somewhere like Echelon, the beach party scene, the full moon party, and then these sophisticated jazz bars. It seems like Thailand really does have something for everyone. But before we dive into, more specific venues and recommendations, what are some things our listeners should keep in mind when they're exploring Thailand's nightlife, especially if it's their first time?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think navigating a new country's nightlife can be, a little bit tricky.
What insider tips can you offer to help our listener have a safe and enjoyable experience?
Well, first things first, transportation. Taxis and ride-hailing services are really easy to find in cities like Bangkok, but be prepared to haggle with tuk-tuk drivers.
Yeah.
Especially in those touristy areas. Always agree on a price beforehand to avoid any surprises.
That's good advice no matter where you are in Thailand.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, safety. It's paramount, especially when you're in crowded places and you're out late. Just be aware of your surroundings, keep your valuables close, and try not to overindulge. It's always a good idea to let someone know where you're going, especially if you're traveling solo.
Good advice. And, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of being somewhere new and forget about those basic precautions.
It happens to the best of us.
So another thing that our sources mentioned was respecting local customs, which is essential in any country that you visit.
Absolutely.
But what are some specific things that our listeners should keep in mind when it comes to Thailand's nightlife?
Well, Thailand is a predominantly Buddhist country with its own set of cultural norms. For example, it's considered disrespectful to point your feet at someone or to touch someone's head. Also, be mindful of your behavior in temples and other religious sites. Dress modestly and avoid loud or disruptive behavior. It's all about being respectful.
So be respectful, be aware of your surroundings, and be mindful of local customs.
Got it. Now let's talk about some of these amazing venues that are out there. I mean, we've talked about some of the more mainstream spots, but our research uncovered a few hidden gems that just sound incredible.
Oh, there are so many hidden gems just waiting to be discovered.
Like, for instance, Sing Sing Theater in Bangkok. One of our sources described it as this amazing blend of Chinese-style interiors and burlesque vibes. What can you tell us about it? Sing Sing Theater is definitely a visual feast. It's like stepping into this glamorous world of opulent reds and golds, intricate details, a touch of theatricality. The performances are amazing. The music leans towards electronic and house with a real focus on creating that immersive, high-energy experience. It's a favorite spot for locals and tourists who are, in the know.
Sounds very unique. Now, another club that caught my eye was Space Plus Bangkok. And this is supposed to be a bit on the pricier side, but worth every penny. What makes it so special?
Well, Space Plus is known for pushing the boundaries of the clubbing experience. They've got state-of-the-art sound systems, these incredible laser shows, just stunning decor, and even really energetic dancers who add to that whole atmosphere. Think of it as a clubbing experience that engages all of your senses.
Now, this is where it gets interesting. Our source mentioned that Space Plus is located in RCA, and there's another legendary club in that area, Beam. But I'm also seeing that Beam is closed down. What's the story there?
Beam was a Bangkok nightlife institution, but yeah, they closed their doors for renovations a while back. But here's the thing, they've actually recently opened a sister venue called Beam Cube in the Sathorn area.
Ah, so it's not gone, just reborn.
Exactly. Beam Cube carries on the Beam legacy, same dedication to high-quality electronic music and just a vibrant atmosphere. It's on the 6th floor of Mahanakorn CUE, and it even has a huge terrace with incredible city views.
Oh, wow. Talk about an upgrade. Speaking of areas, our sources also highlight Thonglor as a nightlife hotspot, and they mention Levels Club and Terrace and Dope and Dirty. What can our listener expect from those places?
Thonglor is definitely a popular spot. Levels is a multi-level venue with both indoor and outdoor spaces. They play a mix of international music from hip-hop to EDM, and they attract a slightly more, I would say, mature crowd. Then you've got Durban Dirty, which is all about hip-hop. It's more laid back, it has that underground vibe with graffiti-covered walls, and a focus on showcasing local hip-hop talent.
Okay, so Thonglor has some options for those who want a bit more of a hip-hop vibe. There's one more club I'm curious about. Mustache Bangkok. Our source described it as a haven for underground techno lovers.
Oh, yeah.
What's the atmosphere like there?
It's all about that pure, raw techno energy.
Okay.
It's dark, it's intimate, and it's truly focused on showcasing that cutting-edge techno music. It's not about the flashy lights or the mainstream hits. It's about that deep, hypnotic sound that techno lovers just crave. Think Berlin underground vibes.
So a very specific niche, but clearly a beloved one. Now, we've been talking a lot about clubs, but I know you're also a big fan of the beach club scene.
Oh, absolutely. Beach clubs offer a completely different kind of nightlife experience.
What is it about them that just draws you in?
I think there's something magical about that combination of the beach, the music, and the energy of the people. It's a place where you can just relax, let loose, and really soak up the beauty of Thailand's coastline.
And we already talked about Yona Beach Club with its very unique floating structure. But our research also uncovered a few other beach clubs that sound absolutely incredible.
There are so many amazing ones to choose from.
For instance, there's Catch Beach Club in Phuket.
Oh, yeah.
And it's described as having this luxurious bohemian vibe with beachfront dining, DJs, and even fire shows. What makes it stand out from the crowd?
Catch Beach Club is all about style and sophistication. Imagine plush daybeds, flowing white curtains, panoramic ocean views. They've got a fantastic restaurant. And as the sun sets, the energy ramps up with DJs and these mesmerizing fire shows. It's definitely a place to see and be seen.
It sounds dreamy.
It is.
Now, another one that caught my eye was Zana Beach Club in Koh Samui. Supposedly one of the largest beach clubs in Southeast Asia.
It's massive.
What can you tell us about it?
Well, Zana Beach Club is this sprawling beachfront venue with a massive swimming pool, multiple bars and restaurants, and a huge dance floor. They're known for hosting these world-renowned DJs and throwing these epic-themed parties that just draw huge crowds. It's definitely a place to let loose and have a really wild time.
So if Catch Beach Club is about, that chic sophistication, Zan is about that high-energy fun.
You could say that. They both offer amazing experiences, but with different vibes.
And I'm also seeing Café Del Mar Phuket on our list here, which is part of that iconic global brand known for its, sunset parties in Ibiza. Does the Phuket location live up to the hype?
Oh, it does.
Really?
Café Del Mar Phuket absolutely brings that Ibiza vibe to Thailand. It's all about those stunning sunset views, luxurious cabanas, a sophisticated atmosphere, and of course those chilled-out DJ sets as the sun dips below the horizon.
Okay, so that's one for our listener who wants a little taste of Ibiza in Thailand.
Definitely.
What about something that's more, low-key and off the beaten path?
Yeah. Oh, for that, I would recommend HQ Beach Lounge in Koh Samui. It has a much more relaxed bohemian feel than some of those larger party-focused beach clubs. Think beanbag chairs, fresh coconuts, chilled-out tunes as you watch the sunset. It's perfect for those who want to unwind and escape the crowds.
That sounds absolutely lovely. Now, with all of these amazing beach clubs popping up along the coast, I have to ask about sustainability.
Oh, yeah.
It's a growing concern in a lot of tourist destinations, including Thailand. What are your thoughts on this?
It's something we all need to be mindful of. The rise of beach clubs has unfortunately had some negative environmental impacts in certain areas. But there are a lot of beach clubs that are doing great things, to be more sustainable and eco-friendly.
So what can travelers do to kind of ensure that they're supporting these places that are committed to sustainability?
Look for places that have a clear sustainability policy. Places that are taking steps to reduce their environmental impact and that are promoting responsible behavior amongst their guests. You can often find this information on their websites or by asking directly. I think, supporting those businesses is really crucial for protecting the beauty of Thailand's coastline.
Absolutely, because every choice we make as travelers has an impact.
Yeah.
Now, before we move on to other aspects of Thailand's nightlife, I wanted to circle back to something we touched upon earlier, the importance of respecting local customs and traditions.
It's so important.
Our sources mention a few specifics, like dressing appropriately and showing respect to monks and religious sites. Can you just elaborate on these a bit?
Yeah. So when it comes to dressing appropriately, the general rule is to cover your shoulders and knees, especially when you're visiting temples or religious sites. Avoid wearing anything too revealing. And also remember that monks are highly revered in Thai culture. Women should never touch a monk or his robes. And always offer anything to them on a table or tray. Just those little things, those little signs of respect can go a long way.
Really helpful insights.
Yeah.
Just so important to be aware of those cultural differences and to show respect for the local traditions. Now, besides the incredible club and beach club scene, Thailand is also known for its vibrant live music scene. And I'm excited to kind of dive into that a bit.
Too. There's so much to explore, from traditional Thai music to jazz, blues, rock, even electronic music.
And our research uncovered a few venues that sound particularly special. One that stood out was Saxophone Pub and Restaurant in Bangkok. What's the vibe like there?
Oh, Saxophone Pub and Restaurant is a Bangkok institution. They've been around for over 30 years. It's a multi-level venue with this cool, rustic vibe. They have live bands every night playing everything from blues and jazz to rock and reggae. It's a great place to catch both local and international talent. And the atmosphere is always really lively and welcoming.
Okay, I'm getting some serious New Orleans vibes from that description.
It definitely has that soulful energy.
Now, another spot that intrigued me was the Rock Pub in Bangkok. As the name suggests, it sounds like a haven for rock and metal fans.
Oh, it is. They've been rocking the city for over 20 years, and they host both local and international bands covering everything from classic rock to heavy metal. It's a place to let loose, headbang to your heart's content, and connect with fellow music lovers.
All right, a bit of a headbanger's paradise in the heart of Bangkok.
Exactly. It's a great example of the diversity and vibrancy of Thailand's live music scene. I mean, you can find pretty much any genre you're looking for.
Now, let's venture outside of Bangkok for a moment. Our sources also highlight the Good View Bar and Restaurant in Chiang Mai.
Oh, yeah.
What's special about that one?
The Good View is a Chiang Mai classic. It's known for its beautiful setting right along the Ping River. They have this spacious outdoor area with tables overlooking the water, and they have live music every night, from acoustic sets to full bands. It's a great place to unwind, enjoy the scenery, and soak up that laid-back atmosphere of Chiang Mai.
It sounds perfect for like a romantic evening or a chill night out with friends.
Absolutely.
Now, one more live music venue that caught my attention was Hard Rock Cafe Phuket. It's part of that global chain, but our source mentioned it has a unique Thai twist.
Oh, definitely. Hard Rock Cafe Phuket brings that signature hard rock energy to the island, but they've also incorporated elements of Thai culture into their decor and their menu. It's a really fun and energetic venue with live music every night, ranging from classic rock to pop and even traditional Thai music.
Oh, wow. So it's a global brand with a local flavor. Love that. Okay, we've covered an impressive range of live music venues, and it really does seem like Thailand has something for everyone.
Oh, yeah. We've barely scratched the surface.
But hopefully we've given our listener a good taste of what Thailand's live music scene has to offer.
Definitely.
And speaking of taste, before we wrap up this first part of our deep dive, there's one crucial detail we need to mention regarding Thailand's nightlife.
Ah, yes. The legal drinking age.
Exactly.
So the legal drinking age in Thailand is 20 years old, and it's strictly enforced. Always carry your ID with you because you might be asked for it when you're entering bars or purchasing alcohol.
Really important information for our listener to keep in mind. Now, before we move on to our final thoughts, I just want to emphasize the importance of experiencing Thailand's nightlife responsibly and respectfully. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, Thailand has such a rich culture and its own traditions, and respecting those local customs is absolutely essential. So be mindful of your behavior, dress appropriately, and just remember that a little courtesy goes a long way.
Very well said. It's all about finding that balance between having fun and being a responsible traveler. Right. I think we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah, we have.
From the pulsating energy of Bangkok's clubs to the laid-back vibes of beach clubs and the soulful sounds of live music, It really does seem like Thailand's nightlife truly has something for everyone.
It really does, and the best is yet to come.
It's been incredible exploring all of this with you. But now let's move on to our final thoughts and wrap up this deep dive into the unforgettable world of Thailand's nightlife.
Let's do it. It's exciting, right? There's just so much to discover.
It is. I'm already making a list of places I need to check out on my next trip.
You and me both.
So, okay, let's talk a little bit about what to expect in terms of like prices and, I don't know, etiquette when you're out at these places.
Okay, well, prices can vary a lot depending on where you are and what kind of venue you're at. Obviously, those high-end clubs and beach clubs are going to be more expensive.
Right.
But you can still find plenty of affordable options, especially if you're sticking to local bars or street food stalls. In terms of etiquette, Thais are generally very friendly and welcoming, but it's always a good idea to be respectful of local customs. Like we talked about earlier, dress appropriately, avoid loud or disruptive behavior, and, be mindful of your interactions with people.
And what about tipping? Is that customary in Thailand's nightlife scene?
It's not as common as in some other countries, but it's always appreciated, especially for good service. Like if you have a bartender who's really taking care of you, a small tip is a nice gesture.
Okay, good to know. Now let's talk a little bit about the music scene in Thailand. I know that's something you're particularly passionate about.
Oh, absolutely. Thailand has such a vibrant and diverse music scene. It's incredible.
So what kind of music can our listeners expect to hear when they're out and about?
Well, you'll find everything from traditional Thai music to international genres like pop, rock, hip-hop, electronic music, you name it, they probably play it somewhere in Thailand.
Okay, now I have to ask you about something that I've always been curious about. Thai pop music. I've heard it's huge in Thailand. What can you tell us about it?
Oh, it's massive. It's called T-pop, and it's super catchy, super high energy. It's got a lot of influences from K-pop and J-pop, but it also has its own unique Thai flavor.
Okay, so where would our listener go if they wanted to experience this T-pop scene firsthand?
Oh, well, there are T-pop concerts and events happening all the time, but you can also hear it in clubs, bars, even just walking down the street. It's everywhere.
It sounds like it's impossible to escape.
Pretty much.
So, okay, let's talk about something else that I know a lot of travelers are curious about when it comes to Thailand's nightlife, and that is the ladyboy scene.
Yeah. It's definitely something that's talked about a lot.
And there are those famous cabaret shows, right?
Yes. The cabaret shows are a big part of it. They're incredibly popular, and they feature transgender performers.
And what kind of performances can people expect to see at these shows?
Oh, they're really elaborate productions.
Yeah.
They have stunning costumes, impressive choreography, and they often tell stories through music and dance.
So what are some of the most famous cabaret shows in Thailand?
Well, the Tiffany show in Pattaya is probably the most famous one. It's been running for decades, and it's known for its grand scale and dazzling performances.
What about Alcazar Cabaret, also in Pattaya? I've heard of that one too.
Oh, yeah, Alcazar is another popular one. They have a bit more of a modern feel, and they often incorporate pop music and current trends into their shows.
Now, I know there's been some controversy surrounding these shows in recent years. Some people argue that they exploit or objectify transgender performers. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's a complex issue. I think it's important to remember that these shows have been a part of Thai culture for a long time, and for many performers, they provide a platform for them to express themselves and their artistry. But it's also important to be mindful of the potential for exploitation or the reinforcement of stereotypes. It's about finding that balance, respecting the performers and their individuality, and ensuring that their rights are protected.
It sounds like it's about approaching these shows with sensitivity and an open mind, really seeing the human beings behind the performances.
Exactly. That's so important.
So I think we've covered a pretty wide range of topics when it comes to Thailand's nightlife.
Yeah, I think we've given our listeners a good overview.
Is there anything else you think we should touch on before we move on to our final thoughts?
Well, just a reminder to stay hydrated, especially if you're out dancing or enjoying the tropical heat.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
And don't be afraid to try some of the local drinks. Thailand has some amazing cocktails and beers.
I'm definitely a fan of Thai iced tea.
Oh, classic. It's a must-try.
All right, so as we wrap up this deep dive, what are your final thoughts on Thailand's nightlife?
I think it's an incredible experience. It's vibrant, It's diverse. It's full of energy. There's something for everyone, whether you're looking for a wild night out or a more relaxed and intimate experience.
It sounds like Thailand is truly a nightlife paradise.
It really is.
And remember, listeners, you can find links to all the sources we've mentioned in the show notes, so you can delve even deeper into this amazing world we've explored today.
And don't be afraid to get out there and explore it for yourselves.
Now let's move on to our final thoughts and really wrap up this deep dive into the unforgettable world of Thailand's nightlife.
Let's do it.
Okay, so before we wrap up this deep dive into Thailand's nightlife, I think there's one more thing we need to touch on.
Oh, yeah, there is.
And that is well, how do we even talk about, I guess, the ladyboy shows?
Yeah.
I mean, they were a part of Thailand's nightlife scene.
They are, yeah, these cabaret shows are a really long-standing part of the entertainment scene in Thailand. And, they feature transgender performers and, they're known for these super elaborate costumes, impressive choreography, and oftentimes humorous storylines.
Now, I know there's been a lot of discussion around these shows, when it comes to like representation and sensitivity.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a complicated issue for sure. I mean, there are valid concerns about, the potential for exploitation and the reinforcement of stereotypes, but it's also important to remember that, for many performers, these shows are a source of income and, it's a platform for them to express their artistry and their identity.
Yeah.
So I think, approaching these shows with respect and an open mind, recognizing the individual performers and their stories is key.
Right. It's about seeing the human beings behind the spectacle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
These are talented individuals who deserve to be treated with dignity and respect just like anyone else.
Now, our sources mentioned a few specific shows that are particularly popular. One was Tiffany's show in Pattaya.
Yeah, that's a classic.
What's so special about it?
Tiffany's show is one of the most famous, I think, and longest-running ladyboy shows in Thailand. It's been around for decades, and it's known for this grand scale. They have over 100 performers.
Oh, wow.
These elaborate sets, just
Yeah.
dazzling costumes. They have a variety of acts from, traditional Thai dance to Broadway-style musical numbers. It's a real visual spectacle.
What about the Alcazar Cabaret show, also in Pattaya?
Yeah.
How does that one compare to Tiffany's?
It's another really popular one, pretty similar in terms of like the scale and the spectacle. But I'd say Alcazar tends to have a more modern and contemporary feel to it. Like they incorporate pop music and some of those current trends into their performances.
This is a bit more of a modern twist on that classic format.
Exactly.
Now, there's one more show I'm kind of curious about. The Simon Cabaret show in Phuket.
Mm-hmm.
What sets that one apart?
Simon Cabaret is known for a more intimate setting and a focus on comedy and humor. And the performers are incredibly talented, I have to say. And they often interact with the audience, which makes it a really fun and engaging experience.
Oh, that's cool. So
Yeah.
a little bit more lighthearted and interactive.
Yeah, I think it's a great option for those looking for a show that's, a little bit more offbeat and playful.
So we've talked about clubs, we've talked about beach clubs, live music, cabaret shows. It seems like there is truly something for everyone in Thailand's nightlife scene. And, we've only just scratched the surface here, but hopefully we've given our listener a good starting point.
Yeah, I hope so too. It's a vibrant, diverse scene, and there's so much to discover.
Exactly. Now, before we say goodbye, I just want to remind everyone to be respectful, be responsible, and, most importantly, have fun.
That's the most important part.
And remember, listeners, you can find links to all the sources we mentioned in the show notes, so you can kind of delve even deeper into the world we explored today. So until next time, happy travels and happy exploring.
Yeah, cheers to that.